Yeah, right now, I'm going to go to sleep. It's 2 a.m. To Be Hero X director said the next episodes are only 2D. Yeah, but so I don't even know what that means. What does it mean 2D? Isn't the whole show 2D? I don't get it. What is an example of 3D in To Be Hero X? Isn't the whole shit in 2D? I don't really mean what they mean in 2D. Like the art style? Yeah, what about it? The CG stuff? Wait, what was 2D in To Be Hero X? Bro, I don't know, man. I never even thought in my entire history of watching To Be Hero X that it was 3D. The stuff that looks like arcane, isn't that just an art style? But that's not 3D. Well, it looks like arcane. That's just like a stylistic choice, isn't it? But it's rendered in 3D animation? Bro, I don't really get it, man. This 2D, 3D shit. So is that bad or good? I'm guessing it's bad because the whole show is apparently in 3D. I don't even know what a TD moment, what a 3D is, man. Well, like this? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by 3D? What's 2D then? Have we ever gone to 2D? Bro, this is the whole show. The whole show looks like this. If this is 3D, then what the fuck is 2D? It doesn't exist then. I don't even remember a 2D part then. 2D is like regular anime? But I don't know what regular... Is this 2D? Isn't that bad? Isn't every fight in this show 3D? Everything in this show is 3D. There's only like 5% of the show that's like whatever this 2D shit is. Or like this. I get it now. It's like a drawing. It looks like a manga panel. 2D. Bro, I don't know about you, but I never watched To Be Hero X and said, wow, I love this 3D anime. I just assumed it was an anime, bro. I'm like an art appreciator in all its forms, man. No prejudice, man. This shit was so good, I never even thought about like what it looks like. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you could call it 3D. I just thought it was an anime this whole time, bro. 3D to 2D? What? So, let me see. 3D to 2D. Like, I don't even remember a 2D scene.
For the people. Am I though? Can I really be
Oh, like, it looks like a manga.
him?
You're delusional. Look at yourself. I don't see one thing that makes you special. You have no skills, no real talents. Let me wake you up from your stupid little dream. You're average. The only way you'll succeed is if you accept the truth and refrain this.
Dude, I don't know about you, But like 90% of the show is 3D then. I never see this. This only comes up in like flashbacks or build up. Most of the show, like when the character talks, it doesn't look like this. So if the show is no longer 3D, it's kind of a big deal. Because it's rarely 2D. Yeah, it looks like this all the time. Dub. Says who though? The director? We'll see about that. That's why it depends. If the 2D is still in the same quality, I don't care. But I don't think it can though. You're one of those people who would be colorblind racist? Isn't it the opposite? I don't see race, therefore I can't be racist. I can't even tell the difference, bro. You can't be racist if you can't tell the races apart. Because at that point, it's just one race. What are you talking about? What does that message even mean? Bro, it's just talking to talk. Interesting. So it's gonna be 2D from now on. Well, let's see how they do it then. Because the whole show was 3D. I didn't even know it was 3D in the first place. 3D is what you watch for Rena AMD videos. I guess. It's like, I don't know, bro. Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. It's like 2D looks like a drawing, and 3D looks like they're. Yeah, I kind of get it. I don't get it. I'm gonna. Oh, also, by the way, before I end stream, you should check out the new channel. I think it's pinned. The Pokemon VOD is out. You already know. That's all I wanted to say. You've been watching anime since you were a teen. How do you not realize? I don't know, bro. Like when I watch a show, I don't think about what it looks like. It just looks like anime, man. Beats me, bro. 2D, 4D, 3D. I don't fucking know, man. I have never thought about To Be Hero X being a 3D show. Once. Like ever. It never even like hit my consciousness that this could be 3D. Have you watched Don the Don Season 2 trailer too? No. Let's have a look at it, shall we? What is it? Don the Don Season 2 trailer too? Oh, this one from 21 hours ago? Nah, I haven't seen it. Dude, but I'm so confused about 2D and 3D though. This is 2D, but why does it look 3D? Now that I'm like I'm realizing. You know what I mean? Like this is 2D, but this is 3D. What the fuck, bro? I don't get this shit, man. This is 2D and 3D at the same time. This is like 2.5D, bro. Like 2D, you can't even see his armpit, right? But you can because it's 3D. You know what I mean? Like if something is 2D, you can't see a character's armpit, but you can right here. So this is 3D. But if it's flat like this is 2D. We should make a word called 2.5D. It's a 2D character in a 3D space. 2.5D. I don't really know what I watch, but sure. The difference between 2D and 3D. This is obviously, bro, this is obviously 3D. That's 3D.
The distinction between 2D
That's 2D.
and 3D anime.
2D looks like a drawing. 3D looks like
2D and 3D
I don't know. That's 3D. I don't know why. I don't get it, bro. I know if something is 2D or 3D, but I don't know why. They look the same, though.
Lies in their methods of creation, appearance,
That's 2D.
and the techniques
It looks like a
used
drawing.
to bring characters and stories
That's
to
2D.
life. 2D
Bro, I'm not the only one. There's 26,000 confused motherfuckers.
animation is a traditional animation technique where everything is drawn onto a flat surface, typically one frame at a time. Each frame builds upon the previous one with slight variations in position or expression to create the illusion of motion. This method is highly artistic and relies heavily on the animator's skill.
We need to make a word called 2.5D when an anime character is in a 3D world. 2.5D drawing. Wait, it actually is a thing. What the fuck is this? 2D on a plane. How to make 2.5D art? There's a Wikipedia article? What the fuck is...
To convey emotions and actions through their drawings. Characters and environments are represented only in 2 dimensions, focusing on width and height rather than depth.
Where are your parents?
Animators use vectors, which are pathways defined by start and end points connected by lines, to create shapes and movements. In 2D animation, only what's visible in a frame is drawn, and anything not visible doesn't need to be depicted, making the process simpler.
What?
Bro, but here's the thing. I don't get it. I could tell if something is 3D or 2D, but I don't know why. Obviously 2D. Obviously 3D, but it's the same shit, bro.
Doesn't need to be depicted, making the process simpler.
What?
Conversely, 3D animation involves
Aren't they all 2? Isn't everything 2D though?
What?
Conversely,
Isn't every
3D animation involves
anything
creating
animated
characters and
2D?
environments within a 3-dimensional
Because they don't. Because. How could.
space, resembling real-life objects with height, width,
It's
and
all
depth.
2D, bro.
Animators manipulate
3D is just
digital
2D
models
with
of
extra
characters,
steps.
props, and backgrounds using specialized software. These models are often referred to as rigged, meaning they're equipped with a digital skeleton and controls that
That's
allow
3D.
animators to move them like puppets.
That's 2D. No, that's 3D.
Unlike 2D
That's 2D.
animation, where each frame is drawn, 3D animation relies on interpolation between key poses to create smooth motion. Animators set keyframes at important points in a character's movement, and the software fills in the frames in between, generating motion curves that control the speed and trajectory of the movement. This process involves working extensively with graphs and curves to fine-tune the animation, making it a more technical endeavor.
The sky, clouds, the sun.
That's 3D.
Whoa, don't look at it.
Bro, but here's the thing. Can't you just say this is 2D as well? Isn't everything 2D?
Just kidding. Definitely look at it.
Why is it 2D? I don't know, because everything is flat. Like if you get a pencil and you trace over this, it's 2D, but it's the same shit, isn't it? Like if I get a pen and I trace this, and it looks exactly the same, isn't that also 2D? But it's the same thing. Like if I get a pencil or a pen and I redraw this entire thing, it would be 2D, but I'm drawing the same thing. But this is 3D. You know what I mean? That's what I don't understand. Like, I get that it's 3D, but like it's also 2D. It's because you drew it? No, but if I draw it, it would look exactly the same. Wouldn't it? If I was like really good and I redrew the trees and the characters and it would look the same thing, but it would be 2D. Whereas this would be 3D, but they're both the same drawing. Because you drew it?
Just kidding. Definitely look at it.
If you're interested in creating a cinematic scene using 3D software such as Blender,
So 3D stuff cannot be drawn. 2D stuff is drawn.
check out the How to Create Cinematic Art in Blender tutorial series. This series, guided by Saim Bugarija,
So for something to be 2D, it has to be drawn.
a Blender user with 6 years of experience specializing in film animation, provides a step-by-step guide on constructing a 3D cinematic
I don't care about
scene.
this ad, bro.
Now let's get back to the subject. In traditional 2D animation, on-twos technique is commonly used, where
On a flat surface? But aren't they in a flat world?
or more subtle movements, animators may choose to use 3s or 4s, which involve reusing drawings in order to streamline the animation process. However, 3D animation requires constant movement for realism. Even when characters are still, animators must include subtle actions, such as breathing or shifting weight, to create lifelike behavior. This poses a challenge known as
Guys, I don't think 3D and 2D is real. I literally think it's just a term that we make to describe something. It's literally the same shit, bro. Like, this is 3D because you think that this table is at the back, but if you think about it, they're all on the front. Like, you think it's 3D because the sink is closer and you think like the table is further back, but if you think about it, it's all on the same frontness, bro. It's all on the same screen. You know what I mean? I kind of get it.
This poses a challenge known as moving holds, where animators must find a balance.
Like, you think Woody is behind the girl, but if you think from like a supercomputer POV, it's literally just like they're both on the front. But this girl has more blur. But it gives the illusion that he's behind her. But if you think about it, they're both on the front. But she just has like a shader on her that looks, it's kind of interesting. Like 3D and 2D, it's not real. We're just describing what we think it looks like. But I think from from an Atom POV, I don't think they care if something if it has depth or not. It just looks like it's on the same plane, you know?
Maintaining their desired pose.
Like, you think that this guy is behind her, but if you think like from like a space POV, they're both on the front, man. They're all from the front. There's no back door. The box isn't closer to us. It's all at the front, man. He's not at the back. You think he's at the back. You're describing, but he's not at the back though. They're all at the front.
Higher.
In summary, while both
Like, the stair isn't going up. The stair is just turning.
Higher.
In summary, while both 2D and 3D animations share the
just
fundamental
twisting.
goal of bringing characters and stories to life, they differ significantly in their approaches and
kinda deep.
techniques.
Do any of you recognize this?
That's
icon?
2D.
2D animation emphasizes artistic expression and drawing skills, while 3D animation relies on digital modeling and technical proficiency. Understanding these differences is crucial for aspiring animators.
Bro, but it's not even real though. It's not even real though. How can you watch this in 3D? It's 3D in the movie, but you can't watch it in 3D though. They're all at the front of the screen, bro. You can't watch this in 3D. It looks 3D, but you can't watch it in 3D.
For aspiring
This is the same shit.
animators to choose the right path and develop the necessary skills.
Yeah, it's just a style. But it can't be 3D. Like, it can't be possibly be 3D. Because if it's possibly 3D, that means that I could watch it IRL. Like the guy would be in front of my head. Like, if this was 3D and I'm watching a 3D movie, the character would literally, it would feel like they're in real life. Like, I could, like, touch them. But I can't, obviously. I obviously can't touch them because it's not 3D. That's just the style. Like, bro, like if this was 3D, it would feel like real life. Like if this was 3D, it would feel like I could walk on the stairs.
Lift it higher.
You know what I mean? You feel like I could reach out and step on it, but I can't because it's in the 2D world. You smell me? Bro, I'm the thinker. That's all I gotta say. I'm the thinker.
Higher.
In summary, while both 2D and 3D animations share
It doesn't
the
exist,
fundamental
bro.
goal of bringing
It's
characters
just
and
words to
stories
describe
life,
how something looks.
they differ significantly in their approaches and techniques.
Do any of
Thank you
recognize
forever.
this egg?
bar_soap
2D
underscore
animation
cheered
emphasizes
X1.
artistic
According to
expression
this logic,
and
then
drawing
Whiplash
skills,
is also 2D,
while 3D
right?
animation relies on digital modeling and technical
I'm
proficiency.
on to something. I'm on to something.
Understanding these differences is crucial for aspiring.
Is there a person in chat that understands where I'm coming from though? Like who's like the enlightened ones? Like who thinks I'm kind of cooking though? Like you don't accept it, but you kind of get it. You're like, hey, hang on a second. Like it's kind of true though.
Fanonsense cheered X1. You're
He's
thinking
kinda
all
cooking.
right. ABT rage bait.
You're not onto something. You're on something. Kind of, but you're wrong. Well, I know I'm wrong, but I can't prove why I'm wrong. But it just feels weird, you know? In my head, this is both the same shit. But I could tell if something is 3D or 2D. But my heart doesn't think it's actually 3D. Like my mind, he knows that this is 3D. But I just can't accept that this is 3D. My heart is like, they're both 2D. But my brain is like, this is obviously 3D. And this is obviously 2D. Like, look. It's not even close. But my heart doesn't accept that this is 3D. You don't exist. You're like pretending to be 3D. You can't watch a 3D movie in 3D. It can only be 2D. Wait, is this a thing? This is, I'm telling you, bro, 2.5D. 2.5D. It's 3D in a 2D world. You know what I mean? I'm 2D because I'm watching them on a screen, but it's true though. You can only watch something on a screen. Like an animation. You can't watch an animation in real life. Like if you go and you watch a show, like a concert, that's 3D. But if you watch like a movie of something in 3D, it's in a 2D world. You can't watch something in 3D. Like if you go to a concert or you watch a play, that's 3D. But if you watch a movie of a play, it's 2D.
Cheered X1. Smartest Genshin CC by the way, Actel.
You can't watch a movie in 3D. That would be called a play. You can't. Most of the shit you watch, it has to be 2D. By concept. By vibes. So yes, I would be a 2D character. But if you wanted to see me in 3D, you would have to meet me in real life. You're looking at my 2D self in a 3D world. No, other way around. 3D self in a 2D world. I'm in a 2D world, but I look 3D. But you can't see me in 3D unless you're in my house. I'm a flat earther. Anyone smell me right now? Like if something is on a screen, it can't be 3D. Like IRL. It can be 3D in the screen, but it can't be 3D in real life. Because if it was 3D in real life, it would be real life. Like if you're watching something on a screen, it can't be, bro. The universe, the atoms they don't see it that way. Technically, you're right. We're tricking the brain into thinking it's 3D. Same thing we trick the brain to think animation is moving. Yo, Phantom Whiz, you actually kind of smell me right now. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You kind of smell me, and I kind of like that. Because I understand where chat's coming from, right? I understand that it's 3D. But you just gotta think from the POV of like an atom, bro. Like, think from the POV of the universe. It's not 3D. Because 3D would be real life. If you're watching something on a screen, it's literally in the screen. You're not looking at it with your eyes in real life. You're looking at it on a screen. Therefore, it must be flat. There's no depth in the screen. Now, you can mimic 3D in a screen with techniques, but you can never replicate the true 3D universe on a screen. The materials of the screen does not allow 3D to be real. You can trick it to feel 3D, but it can't be 3D because 3D is real life. It can't be real life. It's on a screen. This is so interesting to think about, you know? Everything you view in this 4D world is 2D. The brain just makes an illusion that is 3D with parallax and time. However, the main differentiator between 2D and 3D animation is the plane they use for animation. Whether they use a planar surface or a modeling software, I kind of get it. Like 2D is like a drawing and you like draw it going up or down. But in 3D, you get a model and you keyframe the model going up or down.
Fanonsens
But they're
cheered
both in a
X1.
2D world.
How long is my delay? About as long as this stun
You know what I
lock
mean?
has been on, bruh.
Just put the screen in the bag? No, but you guys need to question the world more. You can't just accept that something is 3D. You need to prove that it's 3D. You gotta be like, you gotta ask questions. Like, if the show is 3D, prove it. You can't, bro. You can't prove it. It's impossible to prove. Because it doesn't exist in 3D. It exists in a 2D world trying to look 3D. I'm on to something. Let him cook. Let him cook. You're being a conspiracy, Andy? No, I'm just a guy that has free thoughts. And I like to question the world. It's called questioning. On to absolutely nothing. Make your own parody conspiracy YouTube channel. What, like Dan Henschel? If I watch an akashot stream on my screen, is it 2D or 3D? Watching a stream on a standard screen will be in 2D, as Twitch streams are typically broadcast in 2D format. There's no indication from available information that my stream are natively in 3D, or use any 3D conversion technology like stream to 3D for real-time viewing. If you want to view the stream in 3D, you'll need specialized software like Stream to 3D to convert the 2D stream to 3D in real time, along with A compatible 3D display device such as a VR headset. No, if you put on a VR headset, you're not in a 3D world. You're in a 2D world pretending to be 3D. The 3D world is real life. You don't put on a headset and be like, I'm in a 3D world. No, you're in a screen pretending to be 3D. You're not in a 3D world with a VR headset on. But that's just my way of like interpreting the universe. If you don't agree, that's fine. No one has an answer to the universe. We can only make our beliefs. But I believe that 3D does not exist on a screen. It can only be mimicked to its best. It can never truly replicate 3D on a screen. Your mind is just tricking itself into seeing 3D. Yeah, which is why it's kind of cool that there's an art style where because here's the thing. Anyone can tell what is 2D or 3D. It's so obvious. Kung Fu Panda, 3D. Don the Don, 2D. Anyone can tell. But from an Adam's POV, from like a Albert Einstein, from like a physics, from a I don't even know anything about physics, but it's just not 3D though. Because if it's 3D, it would be real. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. What does he mean when he says atom POV? Because I think the POV of an atom is the truth of the universe. They see everything in the true form. We can't understand what everything looks like. We can only pretend to know that we understand. Like an atom, they know what everything looks like raw, but we don't. We only have a sense of what everything is. Like words are not real. You know, like nothing in the world is real. You can't see, you can't prove anything, right? But like an atom, they're literally like the universe. You can only see the universe if you are the universe. So I think like from an atom's POV, the 2D and the 3D doesn't exist. It's just 1D. There's no 3D in an atom's like vocabulary, bro. They don't know what the fuck a 3D is. Yeah, you smell me? Yeah, everything is 0D. Everything is 0D. There's no 3D. We think we're 3D, but we just made it up to describe something. It doesn't really exist.
How to draw
There's no 10D. It's just 0D.
4, 5, 6, and 7-dimensional objects. 1 point has 0 dimension.
You guys know what I mean? I believe that if you want to know the truth of the world, you can't because you're not the universe. But if you're like the universe, like an atom, you can. You want to know what I mean? I'm telling you, bro. If you look at an atom's POV of everything, that is like the universe. That is the truth. That is like what the world is meant to be seen. But we don't know what it is because we're not an atom. What is this emote? Poro agony? No, like, okay, I actually had a thought about this like last week, right? You want to know a thought that I had about the universe that will like shock you to the core? Like think about it for a second, right? I had this thought when I was in the shower. You cannot prove that anything is real. You can only prove if something is mostly real. Think about it for a second. In this world, you cannot prove that anything is real. You can only prove if they're mostly real. You can't prove that 1 + 1 is 2. You can't. It's impossible. Because what is 1? 1 apple? 1 car? 1 watermelon? You can't prove that 1 + 1 is 2. But you can mostly prove that it's true. Like you can't prove. You know what I mean? You can't prove it, man. You could be like, oh, 1 + 1 is 2 because that's the rule. Okay, now prove it. Grab a 1 and take another 1 and then show me a 2. You can't show me a 2. What does a 2 look like? It's crazy, bro. Do the math? No, but how do you prove it? You can't. Use your fingers? But your finger is not 1. Your finger is 1 finger. What is 1 in this context? You can't prove what 1 is, bro.
Thank you forever.
Like, what the fuck is 1? 1 what? Grab a 1.
Finger, add another finger.
Like, I want you to show me what 2 looks like. You don't even know what it doesn't exist, bro. I'm telling you, words, everything is fake. We just make words to describe, to give meaning to the non-meaningless, bro. I'm telling you right now, you can't make 1. You can't grab a 1, bro.
bar_soap_.
It's not a thing, man.
1. Akashot, you do realize mathematics is a tool made up by humans to understand the universe, right?
Yeah, which is why I said that in this universe, you can never prove something is 100%. You can mostly prove it. You cannot prove anything, but you can 99% prove it. You cannot get the 100%. It's impossible. You can't do it. You can't prove anything in this universe, which is why I think it's so cool to think about. You know what I mean? Is this your midlife crisis? No, because I believe you can't prove anything. You can't. Because you don't know what 1 is. You know what I mean? It's not just 1 + 1. It's like anything in this universe. You can't prove that a banana is a banana because you made that word to describe a banana. It's not actually a banana. You know what I mean? We called it a banana because we all agree that this should be called a banana. But you can't prove to the universe that this banana is a banana. It's our interpretation of what a banana is. You know what I mean? Like, you can't prove to me that this apple is an apple. We just called it an apple. Everyone was just like, yeah, let's just call it an apple. But you can't tell me, like, how do you prove it? You know what I mean? Which is why I think it's so cool. Nothing is true, but a lot of things are true as well. Mostly. You know what I mean? Nothing is 100% real. At most, it could only be 99%. You know what I mean? This argument is kind of bad if applied to other stuff. Is anyone like smelling me right now? Who's on my side of the coin? I'm telling you, bro, it's crazy to think about. You can't prove anything is real. You can't do it. You couldn't do it. You're not real? This is the result of the Aussie education system. I'm on your side. Yo, thank you, Satora. Like, actually though? Or you just like memeing a little bit? Wait, but Satora, you kind of get it, right? None of the shit in our universe that we named is real. We just came to the conclusion to call this that. Like, if you think about it, nothing should have a name. Names are only for humans to describe what this thing is. It's not like in the sandbox for the universe, the God was like, okay, this apple is called apple.png. No, it's not called anything. We just like gave it a name to describe what it is. Because if we had no names, we wouldn't know how to describe something. It's not real, bro. Like, think about it. When the universe was created, you think they were like, oh, we're going to name the sky, the sky. We're going to name the cloud, cloud. We're going to name the sun, sun. The sun doesn't have a name. We just gave it a name. From an atom's POV, the sun is just the sun. It doesn't have a name. This is the schizophrenia. The schizophrenia is kicking in. What's the fucking point? That's my point, is that it's cool that we can't prove anything. I think that's cool. That nothing is real. Well, no, nothing is true. You know what I mean? Like 1 + 1 = 2 can mean anything. One finger, one apple, one car, one plane. What is one? Like if you had to grab one from an inventory, what would it look like? Nothing, because it's not fucking real. You can grab one apple, you can grab one plate, but you can never grab one. Like, what the fuck is a one? What is a two? Yeah, 2 apples, but what is a 2? Like, what does 2 look like? It doesn't look like anything, man. It's an abstract concept? Exactly. They're concepts. They're things that we use to give meaning to something that has no meaning. And I think that's really cool. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, at its core, nothing is like what it is. We just gave it that meaning, which is kind of sick. You know what I mean? The fact that an apple is an apple, but it doesn't really exist if you think about it. Like in the sandbox, nothing has a name. It's just like what it is. You know, it's like how tar is tar. We don't call it tar. This is what it looks like. Have exam tomorrow, didn't study. Give me advice that will help me ace it. Dude, you're out of luck, man. You have an exam tomorrow and you're watching this schizophrenia ass rant? In another universe, an apple could be called a banana? That's what I'm trying to mean, bro. In another universe, what if every human walked up to an apple and was like, this is called a banana now? You know what I mean? In another universe, what if everyone decided that the color yellow was red? It's not called red or yellow. It doesn't have a name, bro. You know what I mean? That's crazy. You describe a language? No, but here's the thing. In every language, there's a word to describe a color. Like yellow is still yellow in Chinese. It's not fucking green in English, bro. Yellow in Chinese is still yellow in English. Green in Japanese is so green in Korean. I'm saying in another world, what if the green that we know is actually referred to as yellow in every language? I'm not talking about languages. It doesn't matter what language it is. It's all referring to the same color. Like what if in Alpha B, we called the color green purple? And in every language, we call green purple. But purple isn't a real color. We just think it's called purple. You know what I mean? Thoughts on the parallel universe? What, there's like another guy talking this dog shit in like another world on a stream, and your green might not be my green? But what I'm saying is that there is no green. Do you guys understand what I'm coming from? Listen, I know I sound so schizophrenic right now, but I swear it's actually true though. I swear it's true.
Thank you forever.
I swear it's true.
It
doesn't exist. It's not a real thing, bro.
All this time wasted on atom.
There is no one.
Could have been used for uploading the Paper Lily VOD.
There's no one. You can't grab one. It's not real. It's a concept. Your talk reminded me of this video. Proof of 1 + 1 is 2. Check page 406. Bro, what the fuck is this? 406? Dude, if you had to write 719 pages to describe that 1 + 1 is 1, that means that it's not true. Because if something was true, it wouldn't need 400 pages of explanation. You could just say it in one sentence. Am I right? If something was true and it was so easy to prove, it would be proven in one sentence. You wouldn't need to try to prove it. Trying to prove that something is true inherently means that it's not inherently true. If you had to prove that something is true, it's not actually true in the first place. Because why would you try to prove something is true? It's already true. There's nothing to prove. So the fact that you're trying to prove that something is true must mean that it's not true. Therefore, why would you prove it? You don't have to prove a true thing. It's already true. Nothing to prove. No? Proving something inherently means that it's not true. Am I right? If you have to prove something, it's not 100% true. Because if something is 100% true, it would not need to be proved. Check 5443. What is bro writing in this book? Guys, I know it doesn't make sense, but I genuinely think that in this world, you cannot prove that something is true. You can only prove if they're mostly true. Let that sink in. Someone make that a quote. Someone quote that shit and put it on a t-shirt, bro. That goes hard as a quote. You can't 100% prove it, man. But you can mostly prove it. What do you mean by mostly true? Because inherently, one doesn't really exist in the universe. It's just our concept of what one is. So you have to link the concept of one to another concept of two. And you have to prove that those two concepts make the concept that you think is true. But those concepts are not real. They're concepts. You know red is red because you're told that? Yeah, but you can't prove that red is red because red is not real. You just gave it the name red. Like you can't prove the color red is red because how do you prove that? It's impossible. I'm not talking about the language. I'm talking about the atom, man. In an atom's POV, there's no red, blue, green, apple, bananas. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just, it's not a thing. Atom POV? Well, that's my only way of having a frame of reference of what my
Thank you forever.
thing is, right?
bar_soap_cheered x1, you're right here. BC red is just the sensation you get from an electromagnetic wave.
Guys, I'm not fucking dumb, bro. I'm not gonna wake up tomorrow and call the color red green. I'm saying we can't decide if something is this because it doesn't make any sense. We can to give it meaning, to make sense of the world, but if you look at the core, it's not actually that. We can't say with 100% certainty that this is this. We can't. You can't prove to me that red is red. You can prove to me that red is red in English, but you can't prove to me that the color red is assigned to the word red. But you can tell me that, oh, red in English means this color. But you can never prove it. Because you can't. You can't prove it. It doesn't work. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that everything is fake. But from that's just a name? Exactly. We gave the color a name. But the color didn't name itself that. You know what I mean? Who asked the color red to be called red? Can we ask for their permission? You know what I mean? We just gave it the name red. It's not because it's actually red. We don't know what red looks like. We just think we know what it looks like. The color didn't want it that? Exactly, Gene. Red is red. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. What is this emote? Adam POV. This is the truth. Yep. Adam POV. Adam POV. You know, that's damn fucking right, man. Adam POV. But do you understand where I'm getting at here? I feel like to see the world in the way that it was intended, you have to be an atom. Because the atom is the world. We can't have a POV of what an atom is because we're not an atom. We're like a lot of atoms. The atom has the true sight. He has the true vision. But we can never be one atom, so we don't know what it looks like. We can only assume what it looks like with our eyes, but who knows? Like maybe, you know, like we'll never know. And I think that's very cool. I understand where you're coming from. I think it's too far gone. No, but guys, I think that's such a cool thing. It's not scary. It's not nonsense. I think if you like, instead of trying to make sense or try to be like, but, actually, I think if you just like think about it and just accept it because that's the way that it is, like you can't change it, I think it's actually kind of cool. Now, obviously, if you think from a human's perspective, none of this shit makes any sense. Like, what do you mean red is not red? Just Google red. Red is red. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like it doesn't make any sense. Now, you don't have to not make any sense. You know what I mean? Also, I don't know what I'm looking at on this page. Can you teach us how to do long division? No. Like what you said, just makes it so nothing matters? No, but here's the thing. That is what makes it so cool. If nothing matters... No. I wouldn't say nothing matters. I'm willing to say nothing is true. 100% true. I don't think nothing matters because what does matter mean? You can't decide if something matters or not. I think nothing is true. 100%. I believe that in a universe court, you can't prove that 1 + 1 is 1. You can't prove it. If you were in a court and there was like a universe like case, you would lose. You would never win that court because you can't prove anything. Because you're not like, you can't prove it. How do you define true? Do you guys not understand when I say like prove 1? Like what does 1 mean? You know what I mean? You can't prove 1. You can't. You can't pull it out. You can't pull 1 out of your pocket and be like, this is 1. 1 what? 1 computer? 1 eyeball? 1 hand? Like what is 1? It's not a thing. You can't prove 1 is 1 because there's no 1. You know? 1 keyboard, 1 microphone, 1 person, 1 what? 1. What is 1? You know? 1 second, 1 hour. What the fuck is a 1? You can't grab it. You can't eat it. You can't like show you can't show me 1. You can't show me 1. I would like to see someone show me 1 because you can't. Like if I do this and I say this is 1, if you think about it, this is not 1. This is 1 finger. You guys see my finger? You can't show me 1. If you type the letter 1, that's not 1. That's the number 1. Like if I type 1, that's not 1. That's the number 1. You know what I mean? You're not typing 1. You're typing the number 1. You can't show me what 1 looks like. Yeah, like if you type O-N-E, you're typing the word one. You know what I mean? You can't show me what one is. You can't. It's impossible. It cannot be true. That's why we have language. But I'm not saying that language is fake. Language is very useful. It makes sense of the world. But from a universe POV, you can't prove it. Like pull out a 2. And then you type the number 2. It's not 2, it's the number 2. You type the word 2, it's the word 2. You can't pull it out of your ass. You cannot prove that anyone has their own consciousness, so does that mean every person apart from you is fake? I don't know. Now, what can you do with this information? Nothing. This is useless. So you mean exists, not true? But for something to be true, it has to exist. Otherwise, it's not true. How could something not exist but be true? If something is true, it must exist. You can't have something that exists but is, you know, that just doesn't make any sense. Like if something doesn't exist, it's not true or false, it just doesn't exist. You know? Am I the most schizophrenic streamer of all time? Clash of Clans animated series officially announced? Whoa, so cool. Nobody in this chat plays Clash of Clans. Is empty space true? No, but like sometimes I go to sleep or I take a shower and I have these thoughts about the universe and I don't get uncomfortable. I don't get scared, but I just get so like damn, you know? It's like, damn. It's not like this is scary or this doesn't make any sense or this is nonsense. It's like, I just think about it. I'm like, bro, what the fuck, man? In my life, I can never prove what one is. You just can't. It's kind of deep, man. I actually had that kind of thought before, maybe when I was 16 or 17. Read more math? Thanks for the crisis? Bro, but it's not a crisis. It's like a damn moment. It's like a, oh shit. What the hell? I had another deep thought, but I don't know what it was. You know what I mean? I have these thoughts like every week, but I forgot the other one.
So,
My most recent one was that you can't prove anything in the universe. EOS Sunif didn't make anything different. Well, they better, man. Doesn't game have like a big ass rational or irrational fear? Nah, that's like an old ass thought, man. I think I've solved that shit like ages ago. Were you born a natural stun lock or did you train somewhere? Bro, it's not stun lock to like say what's on your mind, bro. It's not even that deep. I'm not even trying to be philosophical or smart or deep. I'm literally just saying what's on my mind. What's on my mind, like out loud. I'm not trying to get at like a deep, trying to understand, because I don't understand anything. It's just like, I think it's kind of cool that you can't really pull out a 1, because what is 1? It's not random shit though. You think it's random shit. I'm not saying random words. I told you Satora is mocking you. Maybe Satora is not on my side at all. Satora is on an Atom POV. Satora is a human POV. Me and my atoms will chill in my own little corner, man. Satora's a fake? Yeah, you get me, Gene. You get me. Yo, any Atom POVs? That might be the best. You're like a curious toddler. Why do you say atom? The atoms are made of even smaller parts called elemental particles like Higgs boson or quarks. I don't know, because I don't know what the fuck is smaller than an atom. Just put the atoms in the bag. Just put the atoms in my ass, man. Just put it in my ass. Wait, but if you think about it, aren't the atoms in your ass? Wait, how can I put atoms in my ass? They're already in my ass. There's like thousands of them. There's a lot of atoms in my ass.
Video.
Oh, I had another thought, right? I actually remember what I was thinking about, right? I had another thought. That's not like the universe shit. I had a thought like a couple weeks ago where I'm like, if you cut your arm off, is that person still you? Now, obviously, the answer is subjective, right? You ask like 100 people this question, they'll have like different answers, right? Because like, if you lose a part of your body and it never came back, would that be a new you? Or would that still be you? Yeah, it's like some thesis shit. You know what I mean? Like if you grab your brain and you put your brain in a flesh mech, would that be you? Like, do you think your consciousness is your brain, or do you think your consciousness is your entire body? Because if whatever you think, it's two different answers. You know what I mean? Like if you think your consciousness is your entire body, like your hand is literally a part of you, and you don't think that your brain is just you, right? That if you get your hand cut off, that's not you anymore. You lost a part of yourself. But if you think that you is like your brain, obviously if you lose your arm, you're still yourself. But you don't know what you is, right? It's kind of interesting because I wonder how many people feel close to their hands and their arms and their feet. Like, you know, like like if one of your ear gets cut off, like do you think you lost a part of yourself or you lost a part of your body? What do you guys think? If you lose a body part, did you lose a part of yourself or did you lose a part of your body? Because they're two different things.
About the issues.
You know?
It feels.
If you think your brain is yourself, you would classify it as losing a part of your body. But if you think that you is your entire body, you would lose a part of yourself. You know?
Like it's been longer.
It's kind of weird. But if that's the case, if your brain is you, doesn't that mean that your body is a stranger? You know what I mean? If you don't consider your hands, your feet, your legs, your back, your belly button as part of you, then that's just mean that you're in a city around strangers. You're in a neighborhood around strangers. You know what I mean? My body is so me? Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to get at. Like if you like grab your brain and you put it inside like another human like mech, would you call yourself you?
Info.
In like 200,000 years in the future, if you could do like a brain transplant? I think you already asked that. Yeah, but it's kind of interesting because I don't think you would be, right? If there was like another body with no brain and a robot just grabbed your brain and just placed it into like a new container, I don't think that would be you.
Silence.
You know? That would be a new you, but it wouldn't be you. You know what I mean? Do you know that humans can live with a very small part of their brain? Really? I mean, I guess there are people that have like lobotomies, right? Where they cut off like half their fucking brain or something. Do you keep your memories? I don't know if you keep your memories or not. That is like interesting because I don't think we know. Actually, do we know where our memories is? It's in the brain, right? Can you imagine, right? Can you imagine the truth of the universe? Our memories was actually inside our ass. So if you like did a brain transplant, It would be so funny if you forgot everything, because in reality, it's actually like in your fucking asshole. That'd be so like, that's like the greatest troll of all time. Like, what if your memory's in your penis, bro? Everyone thinks the memory is inside your brain. But what if it was like somewhere else? We know which part of the brain keeps the memories? Yeah, but when you forget your memories, where does it go? You know what I mean? If you forget something, where does it go? See? If you have a memory and you forgot, where are you pulling it out of? Your fucking balls? Where are you like pulling it?
Into light.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you forgot that today had something, where did that thought go? Because if it was inside your brain, you would easily get it. But you forget. But where does it go? Like, inside your fucking... I don't know. Where does it go? Where does it go? What are you? I came here after hearing I was 2 minds. Now I'm a bunch of cells. I'm telling you, it doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. If you literally, like, if you don't go on TikTok and you don't play any games and you literally just like take a shower and you spend more than 1 second like thinking about something, if you dig deep enough, it doesn't make any sense. Like, nothing makes any sense, bro. Where does your memory go? How do you prove that 1 is 1? How do you like, it doesn't make any sense, man. It's so weird. One day, if I ever get reincarnated, hopefully I'm an atom, so I can see the truth of the universe. The way the universe was meant to be seen. Atom POV.
Thank you forever.
bar_soap_cheers.
Where are my memories now?
What are you? You are streaming tomorrow. You are tired.
Yeah, I am
you
streaming
want to
tomorrow.
go to
Yeah.
bed. You want to go to bed so bad.
Wait, if you think about it, aren't you like a new person every day because your cells always split and divide? So technically speaking, can't you say that every day is a new life? Because you never get back the old cells that experience yesterday. Like yesterday's cells experienced that. Today, you didn't experience yesterday. It was your yesterday cells. No. I think that's every 7 years or something like that. I don't know, like some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Watch the vid.
Are you your body? Well, kind of, right? But is there a line where this stops being true? How much of yourself can you remove before you stop being you? And does the question even make sense?
Atom POV.
Your physical existence is cells. Trillions of them, at least
Yep.
10 times more than there are stars in the Milky Way.
No, like, guys, when you hear something like this, does it not make you like so confused? Like, what do you mean I have trillions of cells more than the Milky Way? It doesn't make any fucking sense, bro.
At least 10 times more than there are stars.
Like, what do you mean there's 10 times more cells in my body than in the universe? It doesn't make any sense. That's a fact? Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? What do you mean there's more cells in my body than in the entire Milky Way 10 times? Literally doesn't make any sense.
Stars in the Milky Way. A cell is a living being, a machine made of up to 50,000 different proteins. It has no conscious.
How is that possible? Gene, you understand. You know what I mean? Stars? Yeah, like, well, no, even if it is stars, it doesn't make any sense how something in our body could be so much more than all the shit in the universe. It doesn't make any sense.
Living being, a machine made of up to 50,000 different proteins. It has no consciousness, no will, no purpose, it just is. But it is still an individual. Together, your cells form huge structures for jobs like preparing food, gathering resources, transporting stuff around, scanning the environment, and so on.
Dude, like I'm telling you right now, if every human body part was to materialize into a human, do you think it would be one human or multiple humans? Like if your eye, lungs, kidneys, and stomach were to become humanized, would it be one person or multiple people? You know what I mean? I don't really get it. Like if your brain and your eye became a human, would they be in one body or would they be two different bodies? You know what I mean? Like if every organ in my body became a human, would it be one human or would it be like 50 different humans? Because if it's 50 different humans, that must mean that your body is not you.
So on. If you extract cells from your body and put them in the right environment, they will continue to stay alive for a while. So, your cells can exist without you. But you can't exist without them. If we take all the cells away, there is no you anymore.
Yeah, that is true.
Is there a line where a pile of your cells stops being you? For example, if you donate an organ, billions of your cells will continue to live on inside someone else. Does this mean that a part of you became a part of another person?
Wait, that's kind of deep. What the fuck? What the?
For example, if you donate an organ, billions of your cells will continue to live on inside someone else.
That's kind of true, though.
Does this mean that a part of you became a part of another person? Or is this other body keeping a part of you alive? Or
yeah, is that a body part or is that a you part?
let us imagine an experiment. You and a random person from the street exchange cells. One at a time, your body gets one of their cells, their body gets one of your cells. At which point would they become you? Would they ever, or is this just a very slow and gross way to teleport you? Let's make this more complicated. The image of ourselves as a static thing is untenable. Almost all of your cells have to die during your lifetime. 250 million have died since the beginning of this video alone. Between 1 and 3 million per second. In a 7-year period, most of your cells are replaced at least once.
Have you heard of recipients of certain organ transplant receive memories and even feelings of the donor? I've never heard that, but I've heard something like if your arm gets cut off, you feel your arm getting cut off even if you don't have an arm there. Like something like, it's like a ghost pain or some shit like that. That's his question? Wait, what's my...
Would they become you? Would they ever, or is this just a very slow and gross way to teleport you? Let's make this more complicated. The image of ourselves as a static thing is untenable. Almost all of your cells have to die during your lifetime. 250 million have died since the beginning of this video alone. Between 1 and 3 million per second. In a 7-year period, most of your cells are replaced at least once. Every time your cell setup changes, you are slightly different than before. So, a part of you is dying constantly. If you are lucky enough to become old, you will have cycled through roughly 1 billion cells. So what you consider yourself is really just a snapshot. But sometimes cells are broken and don't want to die, questioning the very nature of the unity of our bodies. We call them cancer. They cancel the biological social contract and become basically immortal. Cancer is not an outside invader, it's a part of you that puts its own survival over yours. But you could also argue that a cancer cell becomes another entity inside us, another being that just wants to thrive and survive. Can we blame it for that? A chilling cell story is that of Henrietta Lacks, a young cancer patient who died in 1951. Usually, cells only survived for a few days in the lab, making research very hard. Henrietta's cancer cells were immortal. Over the decades, they were multiplied over and over again and used for countless research projects, saving countless lives. Henrietta's cells are still alive and overall have been grown to at least 20 tons of biomass. So there are living parts around the world from someone who has been considered dead for decades. How much of Henrietta is in these cells? What makes one of your cells you anyway? Maybe the information contained in it, your DNA. Until recently, it was believed that all the cells in your body had basically the same genetic code.
I don't believe that your cells is you. Because if your cells is you, you would feel every cell working. You would know what every cell is doing. You obviously don't feel that, so I don't think you are your cells. But your cells are inside you or like surrounding you. Like if your cells is you, you would know everything happening with every cell because you are a cell in that case, right? If your cell is you, you would know what cell 300,000 is doing. But you don't. You don't know what every cell is doing. Therefore, I don't think it's fucking you, bro. But it's something else. I don't know what it is, though. It's like...
But it turns out this is wrong. Your genome is mobile, changing over time through mutations and environmental influences. This is especially the case in your brain. According to recent discoveries, a single neuron in an adult brain has more than 1,000 mutations in its genetic code that are not present in the cells surrounding it. But how much you is your DNA really? About 8% of the human genome is made up of viruses that once infected our ancestors and merged with us. Mitochondria, power plants of the cell, once were bacteria that merged with the ancestors of your cells. They still have their own DNA. An average cell has hundreds of them, hundreds of little things that are not really human, but they still kind of are. It is confusing.
Give me that ATP.
Let's backtrack a bit. We know that you're made up of trillions of little things, made from more little things that are constantly changing. Together, all those little things are not static, but dynamic. Their composition and condition is changing constantly. So we might just be a self-sustaining pattern without clear borders that gained self-awareness at some point.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, real shit, new conspiracy theory dropped. I think, you know, like Mecha? You know how like people jump in a mech and pilot the mech? I think that's you. You're the guy in the mech and the mech is your body. So in your body somewhere, there's one cell that has all of your consciousness, all of your memories, and he's like just in there, but everything else is a mech. There's one cell, the pilot, that has everything, and that is you. Now, I don't know like where in the brain, in the ass, in the penis, but there's one cell that has everything surrounded in a mech full of cells, other cells.
And now has
the operator cell,
the ability to think about
the admin cell
itself through time and space.
He's in there,
really
you know.
Only exists in this exact.
It's like a mecha.
Moment. Where did this pattern start? With your conception, when the first human arose.
That's some anime
when
shit.
Life
I swear,
first
it's like
began conquering our
that
small
has to
planet,
be
or when the elements that make up your body were forged
the
in a
operator
star.
cell.
Our human brains evolved to deal with absolutes. The fuzzy borders that make up reality are hard to grasp. Maybe ideas like beginning and end, life and death, you and me, are really not absolutes, but ideas belonging to a fluent pattern, a pattern that is lost in this strange and beautiful universe. The problem...
If you are a team lost a body part, not lost a part of yourself, you're essentially living in a foreign object with the operator controlling it. Exactly. That is so fucking weird. You know? He explained your original argument, did he? I wasn't really paying attention.
Of who we are
Isn't just a question of our cells, but it's also a question of our minds.
CGP Grey, eh?
Just as our cells can be divided and separated from us, so can our very brains be divided.
Well, I don't think I'm right because it's just a thought. You can't prove it. You know, like I like to use that word, but you can't really be right. You know, you're gonna have like a guess, but like who knows? Maybe there is an operator cell. Maybe you are unironically all the 500 million billion cells. Maybe you are. Maybe you're one cell. Maybe you're the admin cell. He said nothing is constant, so a truce is constantly changing. Why your brain blinds you for 2 hours every day? What does that even mean? What is the context for this? Why your brain blinds you? Oh, like blinking? Like when you blink? Is that what he's talking about? I mean, I don't want to watch another 12-minute video, but it must be blinking, right? Because blinking is kind of like a blindness. I thought we blink to moisturize our eyes. Is this video suggesting that it's like something deeper? Don't you blink because your eyes are dry and you need like water in there or something? You don't blink every 2 hours? No, they're saying that every day that you blink, it's around 2 hours. No, they're not saying that you blink every 2 hours. They're saying that the total duration of blinking every day is 2 hours. That's a good question. Why does the brain blind ourselves every 2 days? What? Every 2 hours? For 2 hours. This one is more about how the eye auto scan stuff, and during that you can't see shit. Oh. Do you have a free will? Bro, this is exactly the type of shit that I be thinking of in the shower. Do you have a free will? You already know, bro. You can't prove it, man. You know what I mean? If you go and take a shit, is that free will, or were you destined to take a shit in that universe? If you right now stand up, is that free will, or were you destined to stand up at that time? You can't, you know? Depending on who you ask, you get different answers. If I go to sleep right now, is that free will, or am I following the Elio script? Beats me, man. That's a shitty thought. Yeah, but here's the thing. A lot of the things are shitty in the universe if you think about it. Like, what do you mean 1 + 1 is 2? You know, like none of this shit works. The video is about your brain constructs your reality, editing memories and experiences. I don't remember if you said something related to sleep and the person that wakes up before. What is this? Yeah, I think I gotta go to sleep. I was supposed to go to sleep, but then we had the 2B Hero 2D incident. Those who Joes. Those who doze. It's 2.5D. I actually think it's 2.5D. If you're watching a movie or a game in 3D, it's a 2D world in a 3D space. That's what 2.5D means in my head. It's Atom POV. I'm not gonna remember any of this shit when I wake up anyway. Bro, I'm not watching this fern shit. How the fuck you gonna go from 2D to Atom POV in 10 minutes? You wanna know why? Because I am the thinker. I'm onto something, man. I'm onto something. I'm like that guy with like his chin on his knuckle doing that thinking pose. That's like me. Anyway, I'm gonna go to sleep. Yeah, like that. I'm the pondering man. Your way of thinking is like a 6th grader? Well, that's fine with me, because I think it's interesting. It might be childish, it might be nonsensical, it might be silly, but at the end of the day, I think it's very interesting to think about. The type of convo you be discussing on the cafeteria, yeah, this is like the type of shit you be thinking of while you're taking a shit. You're like, wait. Like I'm telling you right now, if you walk up to someone and you're like, show me what one looks like, you could troll them so hard. Because they can't show you what one looks like. You know what I mean? That's the greatest troll of all time. If they literally show you like a finger pointing up, you'd be like, no, that's the finger one. Show me what one looks like. They hold up one apple. No, that's one apple. Show me what one looks like. They show you their watch. No, that's one watch. What does one look like? They can't show you it. They're gonna be so fucking pissed, bro. Like, what do you mean? They type the number 1. No, it's the number 1, idiot. I like your wallpaper. Yeah, it's pretty cute. The people that do the finger 1 is not free thinkers. You can define it with the von Neumann ordinals. Yeah, whatever that is, man. What would you say if I say that geocentrism, planet, and sun? I don't even... What? Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep. I think the best movie is the Minecraft movie. Chicken Jockey. Did I say it with the right intonation? What's the email of the day, by the way, before I end the stream? Chicken Jockey. Did I say it correctly? How does he say it again? He's like, Chicken Jockey. I don't know. Adam POV is the emote of the day. Yeah, it kind of is. His emote is so fucking stupid. It would be, because you're like, what the fuck is Adam POV? No, I'm not saying Adam POV with the chicken jockey. Good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.